AA7 Brave New Radio, home of the Pioneer Sports. I'm Lamar Hampton, live in Studio B. Joining with me is Gerard James and Matt Goldman. Matt Goldman, the host of the NHL show that we just got done talking about, will be hosted tomorrow, right? 8 to 9.
8 to 9.
87 Brave New Radio, Gerard James. Here in the first hour, we talk WWE. Second hour, we talk NHL playoffs. Now we're going to get into the NBA playoffs as the Knicks are hosting the Detroit Pistons this weekend. As the playoffs begin, I believe Saturday it is in the NBA. Play-ins begin tonight. So far, the playoffs, let's look at the playoff standings. Playoff standings will be the Pacers taking on the Bucks in the first round. Indy hosts that. Knicks takes on the Pistons. Knicks hosts that. Magic take on the Hawks tonight. Playing 7 versus 8 seed. The loser of that takes on the winner of the 9 and 10 seed between the Bulls and Heat. The winner of that game goes on to play the play the Cavs as the 8 seed. The winner of the 7-8 game plays the Celtics. And on the West, we have the Kings taking on the Mavericks, 9 and 10. Winner of that takes on the loser of the 7-8 game, which is the Grizzlies and Warriors. Winner of the Grizzlies and Warriors takes on the Rockets, and then the winner of the 9 and 10 and 7-8 matchup will take on the Thunder. There's a lot going on with the playoffs, and it's very interesting on what's to come and the expectations all around. I mean, I'm going to give you guys both the floor quick. Gerard, I'm going to let you go first on, how are you feeling so far with this playoff as everything matched up and, even the play in the last few days of the NBA season and all that?
I'm excited. This is actually like the first time I've actually been excited for the NBA playoffs because you don't know who's actually going to come out. The West literally came down to yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, Tuesday, to Sunday. You had the collapse of the Warriors, who they could have had the 6th seed, and then not the 6th seed, the
5.
The 5. Mm-hmm. And now, collapsed all the way down. Now they're fighting in the play-in and could get beat by Memphis. The Knicks at the 3. And Matt, you're a Knicks fan, and you're talking about how disappointed you are. I'm shocked. I had the Knicks 5, 6, staying
going into the preseason.
Going into the season.
Were you silly?
Yes, I see the talent, but they always find a way. Some always happens.
I had the Knicks at like the 2 or the 1.
I ain't giving them the best, but the Knicks, they always find a way to lose. Something always happens. Injuries, something happens. Mm-hmm. So they always got bad luck.
Yeah.
I put them in the playoffs. I just didn't put them as the third best team in the East.
So preseason wise, who did you have above them? I would assume Boston.
Well, in the East, I had Boston, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee was
Cleveland.
Okay. Really? Okay. Because before the season, I don't think anyone had Cleveland over the Knicks.
I think a lot of
people had Cleveland as like a 5 to 6 seed.
Okay.
And then Pacers,
and then New York.
Okay. I mean it's respectable because these are,
again, like
Philly,
I said,
Philly.
Yeah, and then of course Philly.
But Philly,
yeah, they fell off so quick.
But
injuries. Yeah. But still, like I said, New York always finds itself in some type of bad luck situation. So for them to be the 3 seed, that shocks me. And then the West, you got all this young talent that these teams have been in the draft. They've been growing and just molding. Mm-hmm. You're starting to see that now come to fruition.
Yeah.
There's not those big name trades too much anymore. Okay, yes, the Luka trade, right? But that was the outlier. But now you're seeing all these teams that have built their teams through their draft starting to make a impact too.
Yeah, in the West, they have a lot of home-built players, like you mentioned, and, seeing how it's different. Because the East, they have players that have been traded multiple times. Jared Allen, he's not originally a Cavalier. Donovan Mitchell, he's not originally a Cavalier. Jalen Brunson, he's not originally a Knick. Neither is Karl-Anthony Towns. So the top teams in the East were kind of traded and
they
signed.
built theirs through the trades.
Celtics.
Besides the Celtics,
Yeah,
I said
Celtics and the
majority. That's
Pacers.
what I'm saying. Majority of the teams in East and same out West for the most part. Same out West. Thunder was called Shea. Is not a Thunder
was a
drafted player.
Clipper.
He was a Clipper.
But they had J-Dub who was drafted as a Thunder. They had Chet Holmgren who was drafted as a Thunder. So that's the landscape of the NBA. You know, some teams can't really build. You know, build in house. It's hard to build in house, but the Warriors, for the most part, they've done that. Besides Jimmy Butler,
Jimmy's the only
oddball out. But
Miami's another example. They built a house.
yeah, but
Miami always builds in house. They don't really. Well, Jimmy came in.
Yeah, Shaq came in at the end, but
LeBron
came
LeBron came in.
Bosh.
Yeah,
But
they'll pay for expensive players, and they have to. But you know, it's very disappointing. But let's just talk about New York basketball. As the Knicks will take on the Pistons in the first round. The New York Knicks are led by Jalen Brunson, who averages 26 points per game, 7.3 assists, 0.9 steals, 0.1 blocks. Of course, he played 65 games this year. Started all 65. 65, I'm pretty sure, if I'm mistaken, but that's the bare minimum to be acknowledged for an award.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. You know, playing just the bare minimum games to be acknowledged for an award and acknowledgments. Karl-Anthony Towns played 72 games, averaged 24.4 points, 12.8 rebounds, 3.1 assists. He's the catalyst for the team. He's the guy that has to get everything going. Unfortunately, Cat at times he goes shy, he goes ghost, and he doesn't do that. As well, to add to that, you know, scoring level is OG Anunoby, the guy that the Knicks have to rely on come the playoffs. OG played 74 games, averaged 18 points per game, 4.8 boards, and 2.2 assists. Along with that, Mikal Bridges, 82 games all played. Didn't play the last one for real. The next game, I mean the Nets.
Man,
he checked out for 6 seconds.
Listen.
I hate that.
That a game's a game.
Yeah, but
Josh Allen did the same thing.
556. I think it's just a thing with my teams,
Yeah.
the Bills and Knicks. But 556 consecutive games on the court. You got to give Mikal Bridges some props.
I give it to him. But 6 seconds, come on, man! You gotta at least throw a shot up, something. You can't just.
He doesn't want to affect the field goal percentage.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I respect it. You don't want to. Come on.
Listen,
I wish people. I wish this radio world could just
game is
see my
game,
face
respect
right
is
now.
Respect. Mikal Bridges coming in for 6 seconds. You know, there's guys
Come
who
in, intentional foul, and get out. That is not playing a game.
Yes, it is. You commit a foul, you commit a stat.
Probably warmed up and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He
like,
warmed
nah.
up. He got his shots out, or shots up, but he'll be healthy come playoff time. And that's the
I
thing with
get it.
Mikal Bridges, that he's always healthy. He's always, has that stamina, always has that burst in him, and he's going to be a big thing for New York come playoff time because he's going to be guarding Detroit's number 2 guard for the majority of the playoffs, whether it's Malik Beasley may win 6th man of the year. He's averaging 16 points per game, over 40%.
I'm surprised he's not getting comeback of the year.
There's better players that can come back
I
in.
don't think there's an award.
No,
for
there's not.
comeback.
It's most improved.
Yeah, most improved.
He's not most improved.
I think
no.
that goes to Dyson Daniels for Atlanta.
Dyson Daniels.
Okay.
Okay. That's interesting.
That
okay.
is interesting.
That's
Really?
interesting. That's it. I was probably say if not Norman Powell, then Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves on the Lakers. He's boosted.
Yeah,
He has
AR-15.
He's constantly gotten better.
But you're a Lakers fan, so
No,
guess
but I
you're-
said if
you're
not. I
homegrown
said Norman. I
bias.
said Norman Powell first. If not Norman Powell, then Austin Reeves. You know, Norman Powell, he did his thing. But to finish the starting lineup, Josh Hart is someone that starts usually. He played 77 games, started all 77, 13.6 points per game, 9.6 boards, 5.9 assists. Josh Hart was drafted a Laker as well. Hart, he's gonna be the heart of the team too. I like saying that, but
he's
he
the
is
glue guy.
He is definitely the glue guy. He's the guy that holds it all together, and he's the guy that teams need to watch out for. Just because he's not the tallest on the court, he plays like he's 7 foot. He's aggressive, like he's the tallest man out there, and he plays with a lot of heart. I keep saying it, but that's him.
But doesn't New York have like 4 Villanova?
Three.
It was
3?
4 before DiVincenzo got traded in the Cat trade.
So
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
what I
4
thought.
for like a week.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like DiVincenzo was there, and like they had the whole Villanova squad together, which actually would have worked way better than a Cat trade. But
Yeah, without a doubt, I think the Cat trade.
that's here or there. Cat, he for the Knicks, man, he gonna have to show up.
Yeah,
He gonna have to.
Offensively, Cat can show up. Near 24 points per
Defensively.
game, 13 rebounds. Defensively, Cat's a cone. Cat doesn't move. Cat, when he's going to get matched up with Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart down low in that first round matchup, these guys play bully ball.
Yeah.
Especially Jalen Duren. He starts backing into Cat, gets aggressive. Cat's in, I could just watch it in my head right now. Cat's in a back away and easy 2 for Detroit. These centers may have the offensive explosion, whether it's Duren or Stewart, as I mentioned. So it's going to be a problem. It's going to be such a problem.
Yeah, and without doubt, like you said, I honestly on the upside, I think Cat is soft sometimes on offense. I think Cat at times he runs away from being that guy when Brunson is not on the court. So now Brunson is on the court. And Brunson is taking all the focus and Brunson is doing his thing. I think Cat's going to step up in that moment. I think Cat's going to come to realization, okay, I don't got to be the guy right now because I can't handle the pressure when I am that guy. But God forbid Brunson gets off the court. God forbid Brunson takes a break. God forbid Brunson wants to drink some water and relax. Are we going to have to worry about Cat being scared?
But
We're going to have to worry about Cat stepping up. That's the problem between Cat and New York Cat and Minnesota Cat. This is not Minnesota no more. You can't do this to
this
get
is
away.
the bigger market.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
you're
Cat,
home now.
But Cat is a Robin. I'm sorry, Cat cannot
He
be
is
a
a Robin.
Batman.
He is a Robin.
No, what I'm
He is
saying,
a Robin.
no. That's what I'm saying.
We agree.
Okay. No, I'm making sure. Like, no, what I'm saying is Cat. Like,
I'm not that delusional. I'm not that
They
delusional.
agree. He is not a number one, and Minnesota, him having to be the number one hurt him.
That's why they never won anything.
Exactly. So now he could come to New York, be a number two. Now it sucks that you're a number two in a market where your number two has to be, number
Best.
one caliber.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt him because the Garden in the playoffs, man, look, if Cat don't show up, they're going to boo him out the building.
And honestly, to your point, it's not even just the New York market. That's the NBA game today.
Period.
If you're the second best player on the team, you have the chance to be the best player that night. You look at Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, they're 1A, 1B.
Oh, man.
You look at the Golden State Warriors, that 1A, 1B. Did you watch the last game of the season?
Yeah.
You saw how they were going bucket for bucket. If James Harden wasn't hot, Kawhi was hot. Vice versa. Go ahead.
It's Harden as the number one
That's fine.
guy.
Well, yeah,
but my point is, if Harden's not on, Kawhi's going to be
is,
on.
and
If
then-
Kawhi's not on,
all right.
Harden's going to be
I
on.
get it.
You know
I
what I'm
get what
saying?
you're
So, and vice versa with the Warriors. You saw Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. They were going right at it. If it's not one, it's the other.
But
Cat
also-
needs to be that other.
But also, here's the thing too. When Harden he hitting threes,
Yeah.
Kawhi going down and he's locking you
That best
down.
player. Yep.
He's locking down your best player. That's what New York is missing.
But yeah,
because
well,
you have your offensive weapons, but once you get back on the defensive side,
Whoa.
who you gonna?
They have
Mikal
the wings. They have
Bridges,
the wings.
OG Anunoby, these guys are two of the best
Josh
perimeter
Hart.
defense. Josh Hart
yeah,
as well.
but once it comes down, okay, but you're right, they're great defensively, right?
They're outstanding defensively.
But once it comes down to the crunch time, can they handle that? Just like Kawhi and all them do. Kawhi will lock you down. Golden State, Golden State needed that game.
yeah, but I
And-
mean, look at them. That's not important. That's not the New York Knicks. That's not the New York
Exactly.
market. Think about
But-
it. This is OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, three of the better perimeter glue guys in the league. These
Perimeter.
guys on the
Perimeter.
perimeter. Yeah.
And perimeter, you can play anywhere nowadays.
But once you get down low,
OG can handle his weight down low. Mikal can handle his weight down low. Josh Hart can handle his weight down low.
And to the point, there's not a lot of bigs in the league. Continue
Yeah,
in
but-
the East. Continue, Matt.
Yeah, I just think that, honestly, looking at the Pistons lineup, Ivy's still hurt, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He's out
Yeah,
for the season.
he's out.
He's
He's
not
out for
coming
the
back.
season.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Cade, Beasley. I don't know if Holland's a starter. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head.
It'll probably be Tobias Harris or
it'd probably
Hollins.
be, Thompson.
But-
Oh yeah, Thompson will be at the
Thompson.
4 probably, and then Tobias will be at the 5, me at the 4, and then Durant or Stewart will be at the 5. Most likely Durant. Stewart's
Yeah.
gonna come off the bench.
So I think the Knicks on paper match up very well. This is a very favorable matchup.
it's a
Compare-
lovely matchup.
If this was Milwaukee, I don't think I'd have too much concerns. But there's something about this Detroit team this year. They have that spark. They have that fire in them. And it's all led by Cade Cunningham. This guy has been absolutely phenomenal,
He's
averaging
hungry.
26 a game. He has like 9 assists, 6 boards. He is officially taken to that star level this year. He was an all-star. Cade was fantastic. So, and he's playing up against a little banged-up Brunson. But my concern with the Knicks is that bench depth. Tibbs loves running those starters 30, 40 minutes
Yeah.
per game. And that's a problem.
now, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm on a tangent because this team is giving me
But-
so much stress and anxiety this year.
So, everybody knows once the playoffs start, them whistles go in the refs' pockets. Do you think New York, the physicality of Detroit, New York can hold up to?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough series. I think it's going to be, honestly, 6 or 7 games. You seem a little shocked there. So
I mean,
I see 7 games.
I'm actually like,
6, 7. I think the Knicks still get out of the first round, but it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And then they have that round 2 matchup. I'm going to say Boston wins because listen, Orlando, Atlanta, you guys are cool. Whoever
Yeah,
wins that
but-
playing game, but Boston's just going to win 4 or 5. So I'm more concerned about the matchup against Boston in the second round because Boston has had the Knicks number this year. 4-0 against the Knicks. That's like, can you get a win against an upper echelon team?
Yeah.
They've not beat the Thunder. They've not beat Cleveland. They've not beat the Celtics.
Right.
The Knicks are losing to all these teams, and it's by a favorable matchup or amount.
Yeah, and it's no competition, and that's what the problem with the Knicks. When you're outside of your main stars and you're getting blown out by better teams or high level teams, you're worried. You're scared when you got your stars on the court and you're getting blown out by high level teams. How are you going to compete? It's fine if, for example, you see the Nuggets when Jokic is out and they have all their backups and they're getting blown out. Okay, your best players are not playing. But when your best players are playing, you're still getting blown out. You're worried. When your bench is not being utilized, you're worried. And that's a problem that the Knicks fans have seen all year.
The bench depth, and there's not even bad players off the bench. Deuce McBride, that guy's a bucket. Mitch Robinson, now he's back from injury. Mitch Robinson can really,
he can get you 15 on a good night.
On a good night, Mitch Robinson could have 12 rebounds as well and a couple blocks. Precious Achiuwa is on that bench. He's not bad whatsoever. The guy can't shoot to save his life, but spacing-wise, with him and Robinson, that's a problem because both are traditional fives. Landry Shamet's a good shooter. DeLon Wright is a good defender. Cam Payne's on that bench. There's players on that bench that could be utilized correctly, but unfortunately, it's just not going to work out because a lot of the bench.
Yeah, Cam Payne on a Thibs bench, he probably getting 4 minutes a game,
5 minutes, and he's putting up 2 points.
Yeah, that's
it's just not to my liking because honestly, if the Knicks run a 7-man, 8-man rotation in this playoff series, I'm not going to be surprised by any means.
Yeah, without a doubt.
No.
But we're going to have to introduce the opposite side.
Time to meet and greet the Ballers representing the Detroit Pistons.
Cade Cunningham is the lead scorer for Detroit Pistons with 26.1 points, averages 6.1 rebounds, 9.1 assists. Jaden Ivey was the second lead scorer on the team, only playing 30 games this season, but he misses out. Only playing 30 games this season, missed out. Malik Beasley is a third leading scorer with 16.3 points, 2.6 rebounds, 1.7 assists. And Tobias Harris helps out with 13.7 points, 5.9 boards, 2.2 assists. Jalen Duran holds it down in the middle, 26.1 minutes played with 11.8 points, 10.3 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. This Pistons team, like you guys mentioned, they have the star talent. They have the guys everywhere. It's scary. It's scary, honestly. And I think they're going to make it out. I think they're going to beat the Knicks in the first round.
Yes.
I think they're going to beat the Knicks in the first round.
I think you're wrong.
I think they're going to beat the Knicks in the first round.
I'll go get it. Detroit
Go ahead.
basketball.
Without a doubt.
I'm sorry, but Detroit
we're
getting that.
supposed to root for this metropolitan market
Who
here.
say it?
Who said we're supposed to
Who
root
said
for
that?
them? We're supposed to cover
we
them.
covered. No.
But we're not going. I'm not.
I'm not.
When we come back over the series won't be over until
It'll just
a
be
couple
starting.
weeks.
Yeah.
And we come back and we're all sitting here, and I told you that both of you are wrong, and the Knicks win in 6 games.
I'll admit it.
I'm going to laugh in your face. I'm going to laugh in your face because there's just no way that listen, Detroit is a year away.
Okay.
From really making significant noise.
Okay.
They need to build, they need someone else to play that too. I get it's Beasley and Tim Hardaway running into. If they could get Ivy back, more established, Cade comes into year 5 or 6. He went from star to superstar. He needs to be elite.
Yeah. The only thing is with Cade is his team needs to just keep getting better, and we've seen that leap by the Pistons this year. Like your point, they need a better 2. Get Jaden Ivey healthy, get a better wing. Forget the 2 because you already have the Thompson running the 4. He can run the 4 or the 3. Get a better wing. Maybe a Zion Williamson.
Right.
Maybe something. I've seen something like that. But the Pistons have the money to go out there and do that.
Right.
It's just about who wants to come to Detroit.
Hey.
And I said this to my friend recently. It's about who wants to go and play with Cade. Forget the city. Because the city of Detroit, I think, is amazing as enough. You have the Lions. You have the Tigers. You have all these great sports and stuff. And the food, all that is great.
Tigers are on the rise. Lions are on the rise.
Exactly.
The Pistons are now on the rise.
And who doesn't want to live there? I mean, it's Michigan. It's all right. I'm not trying to disrespect the state and the city. Let me not get it wrong. But you have one of the rising up-and-coming players in Cade Cunningham. Before he's even got a contract extension, your window is going to close. So if you're the Pistons and you're a player in the NBA that hasn't done anything, make it work.
And Coach J.B. Bickerstaff has done a fantastic job. I just want to mention that.
But everything you just said about the Knicks, how Thibs only plays those certain guys, that's going to hurt them in the playoffs. Golden State has proven that. You can't play just 7, 8 guys and your bench has like 15 points a game. It's not going to work. So Detroit has a deeper bench than New York. They're going to have to steal at least one in the Garden. But I don't think the Knicks is going to go to the look. This is how old I am. I was about to say the Palace.
Yeah.
I'm about to call it the Palace.
It's always going to be that.
You're right. It's always going to be the Palace at Auburn Hills. But they got to, you know what? Hey, yep, that's how old I am. They got to go to the Palace, whatever they call it now.
Little Caesars.
Little Caesars. And they're going to have to win in there. And I don't know if they can.
Well, here's the game plan for the Knicks. You need to attack the non-shooters because Hardaway could shoot the lights out. Beasley could shoot the lights
They
out.
both going to get you at least 20 a night.
If they're hot.
If they're hot,
yeah,
sure.
they're good.
Consistently, no.
No.
Toby
I said they could.
Tobias Harris could, be a good shooter on occasion. Cade Cunningham, when Cade gets hot, he gets hot.
Yeah.
If you attack players like Thompson, you attack players like Ron Holland, make them shoot these uncomfortable mid-range shots, you make them shoot beyond the arc, that's a winning recipe. Because, listen, if you're going to shut down the shooters and guys who... But if you want to have Holland and Thompson shoot, I think that's something the Knicks have to make a point of
Yeah, but
emphasis.
can they do that consistently
for 6,
for
7
that amount of
games?
games? No.
Yes. Defensively, you have Anunoby, you have Bridges, you have Hart, and I'm not going to lie. All three of them defensively have been underwhelming this season.
Yeah, but here's one thing nobody's even talking about. Ready? They don't when they play in the regular season. How many days rest they got? Unless
One
it's
or
a
two.
back to back.
But for early first round matchups, there's only the same amount of
I was
rest.
going to say, there's like 2
it's-
games.
2 days rest.
It's 2 days.
Yeah, when it's the
And
first
they're-
round,
it's
they
like-
have to get these games going.
Yeah, I
Right.
think it's first,
Is-
game 1, day rest, game 2.
Game two,
Yeah.
exactly, and exactly. So conditioning starts to become a factor. If you're only playing your top end guys so much, by game 3 and 4, they tired.
I get that, but... Yeah, I do get that.
I get that, but at the same time, the Knicks been doing this all season. If that's
Yeah,
the case,
but
they
won-
have to be
they
ready
won
at this
50
point.
games doing this all
Yeah,
season.
so they have
but-
to be ready at this point. Listen, the identity that they have with Tibbs running their play to the ground, and they don't run a short rotation, or the case may be. That's their identity, and I think I heard Tibbs say they have to figure it out after the Nets game or whatever.
Yeah.
I heard that recently. It don't matter. Now it is time to figure it out. Now anything they have to worry about, anything that is during the 82 game season is out the window. All that is out the window now. They prepared themselves all season. Now it's time for the game. Simple as that. It's time for the playoffs, and I think this playoffs is the best players are going to have to show out for the Knicks. Whether it's OG, whether it's Jalen Brunson, whether it's Cat, someone's going to have to step out.
And it's going to be the king of New York, Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson. So you think that's going to be the MVP for the first round?
Do I think he'll be the best player in the first round for the Knicks? Yes, but do I think he's going to be the MVP, the glue guy, the guy who stands up? I think it's going to be Josh Hart.
Without doubt.
Josh Hart could put up 17 points, 15 rebounds, and 11 assists, possibly consistently throughout this playoffs. He's going to have the 3 matchup. He's going to go against Asar. Is it Amen or Asar? I can never.
Pretty sure
Man,
it's a SAR.
All right, he'll
No,
play.
yeah, Amanda in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll have the matchup against Asar, and Asar Thompson, phenomenal defender. Josh Hart, not as good as a defender, but still very good.
I mean, he'll lock you down though.
Both of these guys are going to have a bloodbath playing each other, and Josh Hart will win that battle with just experience alone. He's played in so many different environments, and he's played his best basketball in New York.
This is the Twins, second year, right? Early second year?
I think it's the second or third.
But they're still
But
young.
first playoffs for both of them.
Yeah, that's
that's a fact.
Second.
Okay, yeah. But first playoff for both of them.
Still young, and they both carry their respective teams
In a sense.
In a sense,
Gave him a
boost.
pedestal.
So
yeah.
I mean,
Put him up.
Josh Hart definitely going. What's going to help New York and all them? They have that playoff experience.
Yeah.
That's what's going to help. I still don't think they'll get out of the first round.
They've made it out of the first round in back-to-back years. It was Cleveland in 2023. Last year it was I'm drawing a blank.
Philly.
Philly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Philly's been.
That was bad.
It's okay.
Yeah, let's not talk about Philly.
Yeah, that team's been very underwhelming.
Nothing positive. to
Nothing.
say.
But Josh Hart is going to be the glue guy. He's the one who I get Cat needs to get more aggressive. I know Brunson needs to have that killer instinct that he's had in years past. But Josh Hart, for me, is the player where he does a little bit of everything on the offensive end, whether it's playmaking, whether it's rebounding, whether it's scoring at ease, whether it's defensively, playing great perimeter defense, being a force down low, poking the ball loose, blocking shots. Josh Hart does a little bit of everything, and that's why I think that in this matchup, Josh Hart's going to be the X factor.
Without a doubt. And Josh Hart has to be the X factor.
Yeah, he's going to have to be.
Like I said, and like you said, he's a glue guy and he's a heart of that team, so he has to bring it up. Gerard, who do you think is going to be your MVP for the New York Knicks in the first round?
And I'm going to agree with Matt.
Josh Hart.
Cat not. I don't think Cat going to step up to do it.
I think Cat will have a more favorable advantage against Boston against Porzingis.
Yeah.
Because they're both very similar, soft-ish players who explode on the offensive end.
I mean, you breathe too hard on Porzingis, and he's getting injured. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's... But on your point to that, they both can go out and shoot the three. So, this series against Detroit, that might actually help Cat, that he can bring their five out to clear out the middle. But I don't think he's going to have that killer instinct in him when it comes down to the last 2 or 3 minutes in the fourth quarter and they need